Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the Oligo Blacklight lightening system. A little bit about it, breaking down because there's a few different lighteners, what I personally like to use them for, and all that good stuff. I guess I should probably give a background. If you are new here, I am a hairstylist, so if you are not a hairstylist, this will probably not be a very exciting video for you, so I'm sorry in advance. If you don't want to watch this because it's not interesting to you and you have no idea what I'm talking about, you have my forgiveness. It's no secret on my Instagram and here on my YouTube that I use a lot of Oligo color and lightener, and because of that I get asked a lot by fellow stylist friends, you know, my experience on the line and you know, things I like, things I don't like, and all that stuff. So I did a Color gloss compared to Redken Shade DQ breakdown a couple months ago, and that video went really well and a lot of you guys liked it. And so I just kind of figured that this would be another great video to do because I definitely get asked about their lighteners very frequently, especially on Instagram. I pulled a little bit of their claims from their website, and then I'm also going to give my real life stylist experience as well. There's definitely different scenarios and what I like to use them for and whatnot. And then I also went on my stories too and asked if any fellow stylists had any like additional questions that they wanted me to make sure to address in this video. So I have a few of those to go over as well. So if you guys are interested, then just keep on watching. Let's go ahead and get into it. I definitely took notes again. I did last time when I went through. I just want to make sure I hit everything. We're going to just go off and I'm going to break them off into categories. I was planning on having the lighteners physically here for you guys so I can hold them up, but of course, leave it to me, I forgot. So I'm just going to make sure to include camera shots of what they look like and all that stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with their... Hi, buddy. Hi. Can you sit down so mommy can film? You're kind of stealing the show. Okay, yeah, sitting right here doesn't really help. Buddy, you gotta move. I gotta kick you out. Kick you out of my spot. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with Oligo's Extra Blonde Lightener. This is their white tinted lightener. It's a dust-free formula. It gives up to 9 levels of lift. You can use this on and off the scalp, and its formulation consists of positively charged compounds that form an ionic bond during the lightening process. Their claim is that this protects and smooths the cuticle, guarding it from over porosity. In my opinion, this is their most powerful lightener. I believe even on the website it even says it is a powerful lightener as well. I love this lightener. This is actually the first lightener from Oligo that I use. I like blue tone lighteners, but since I've been doing hair for 5 years now, I know what to expect. However, when I was a younger stylist doing hair, I had the hardest time knowing when blue lighteners were actually ready. I think everybody has been personally victimized by blue tone lighteners not actually being ready as they appear in the foil, and you go to rinse it and it's way too yellow, or even like too golden yellow, orangey, you know, that kind of thing. When I was a younger stylist using Extra Blonde, that really helped me out because truly what you see in the foil is what you get. Now, since this is not a blue tone lightener, this does not tone while lifting, so you do need to keep that in mind. It's not that it, like, you know, lifts stupidly orange or anything, but you know, that truly what you're getting is whatever that underlying pigment is in the foil. So in my opinion, I like using, and this is talking about just strictly using Extra Blonde on its own, not mixing it with anything, any of that kind of sort. I love using this for darker hair, coarser hair types, so when the strands are thicker, and those that just have a hard to lift hair type. Normally for me, hard to lift hair types are those with coarse hair, so again, very thick strands of hair, and with previous color on their hair as well. I have a handful of dark natural level 1 to 3 clients that also have to do either like gray coverage or they just have previous permanent color. Those I will count as like hard to lift hair types because of their natural level, their color history, and their texture. So using Extra Blonde on its own with those is, in my opinion, what works the best. I also like using Extra Blonde for those that do just want a more warmer result, and I don't need to do a whole lot of like color correcting toning. I'm more so just doing enhancing. Strawberry blondes, coppers, warm blondes as well, warm browns. And that doesn't need to be super ashy, that you don't need a ton of extra like actual color correcting toning. Some things to know about Extra Blonde though is that it is, in my, again, this is all just my opinion, so you might, if you use the Blacklight Lighteners, you might have a different opinion. This does lift on the quicker side. You do need to consider your developer a little bit more differently than when you're using the Cool Tone Blonde, and I'll get to that one in a minute. In some cases where I want like a typical 20 volume speed, if it's someone with a finer texture, I'm gonna bump it down most of the time to 10 volume starting out. Again, in my opinion, Extra Blonde definitely does lift at a little bit more of a faster pace compared to their Cool Tone Blonde and compared to a lot of other lighteners that I've tried on the market as well. You just have to know how to work it. So I always say, if you're using strictly Extra Blonde on its own, someone that has a fine to medium hair density, start lower than what you would even start if you're using their Cool Tone Blonde, because it does have a faster lift. Alright, so let's go into their Cool Tone Blonde. So their Cool Tone Blonde Lightener is another dust-free formula. This one is their blue tinted lightener. I will say I do like Cool Tone Blonde because I've definitely tried a lot more bluer based lighteners on the market. This one you do have to still have a trained eye to really know what level it truly is, but it's not super blue where it looks white and it's really a level 8. I have had some other lighteners that are on the market that are just very, very blue, and I'm like, I really don't know what this even looks like. This one is definitely blue tinted, but it's not like over the top, if that makes sense. It's infused with powerful dyes and pigments to neutralize unwanted brassiness. This gives up to 8 levels of lift, and like I was saying earlier, in my opinion, this lifts a little bit slower as well compared to Extra Blonde. What I like to use Cool Tone Blonde for on its own are for extra long lightening processes, very full baby lights, especially for those that are naturally level 7s and higher, that don't necessarily need, like, they need that like icy result, but they don't need like a ton of crazy lift. Using just Cool Tone Blonde on its own is great for those that have hair that's just a little bit more on the delicate side, that I need to lighten them, but I just want to be a little bit more cautious as well. Using just Cool Tone Blonde on its own is great for that. I really like using this also too. I'll start off with just Cool Tone Blonde, and then I also might switch up my lightening formula halfway through, and I'll get into that all in a minute, and like how I kind of combine them and all that sort. So let's go into their Balayage Lightener. This is their clay lightener. It gives up to 6 levels of lift. Its claims are it enfolds hair strands into the hard shell, giving a good balance of moisture and optimal texture to create an accurate and precise free-handed blonde without the bleeding and the transfer that some clay lighteners can give. Since this is a clay lightener, no foil is technically required. Clearly this is good for your freehand balayaging. I also like to use this for tipping out the ends sometimes when I'm doing foil work. Also, I like to use this for balayaging or wet balayaging as well. I have used just their clay lightener to lighten my natural hair. Now, I did have virgin hair, so keep that in mind, but naturally, as you guys can tell, I'm a level 3. Now, one, I have extensions in, so anything like here and under is a mix of extensions and natural hair. But if we're just looking at this is my 3rd lightening session that I've done. You guys have seen me with darker colors before as well. It's definitely the best balayage lightener that I've ever used. Very effective, and you just have to know how to use balayage lightener to get the best results out of it. Obviously, when you're using the balayage lightener, you know, you do need to plan on warmth as a result, but I love using the Balayage Lightener for, again, those that want warmth as a result, for those that just want like just a few pops of lightness. Alright, and then they have their cream lightener. So right off the bat, I'm gonna be completely 100% honest, I have not used their cream lightener. I just gathered things from their website, and then I was actually talking to one of my Instagram friends and fellow Oligo user. His name's Michael. I'm going to leave his Instagram down below. You guys should definitely give him a follow. He's based out of Florida. Michael, if you're watching this, hi. We were just chatting when he saw my story when I said I want to make a video about Oligo's Lighteners, and we started talking about the cream lightener, and he was giving me, he's used it, and so he gave me some of his experiences, and he said I could, you know, give him his experiences on my videos. Like I said, this is all, none of this is personally from me, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys still have this information out there. So their cream lightener is good for all on and off the scalp techniques. This lifts up to 7 levels and it lightens and tones in one step. I believe it's pretty blue tinted as well. So it has a high lipid content which helps to maintain the moisture and does not dry out easily. I do know this is formulated with a lot of oils, so it's as nourishing for the hair as lightener can be. So I'm just going off of my DMs with Michael to kind of explain to you guys kind of his experience. He said it's a must for fine hair, or if you like to do the money piece first when you're lightening. It is slower to lift compared to other Oligo lighteners. In his opinion, it does still lighten faster than other lighteners that he's used on the market. The hair is super soft and essentially damage free from what he has seen and experienced. He said he'll also use it with 10 volume too if he's brightening the ends, so just doing like a tip out, I'm guessing. He said that he loves the consistency, he loves that it stays moist. He said it's nice because you know how sometimes powders will dry out after like 25 to 30 minutes, and he doesn't feel like that's the case with the cream lightener. It sounds like it's one of those that it's slow and steady, in the sense that he said that he checked it the one time after 15 minutes and you really see much progress, but then after an additional 15 minutes it wasn't nearly ready. So I told him after that I'm sold, so when next time I go to my supply store I'm definitely gonna snag up the cream lightener. But yeah, so that's on the cream lightener. And then with so they have their smart developers, they have 10 through 40. It provides the perfect consistency, giving optimal lifting, and it has consistent and reliable results. It's also formulated with bond enforcing technology, so it doesn't have necessarily a bond builder in it, but it does have bond enforcers which help to keep the bonds intact. It's not rebuilding the hair as it's lightening, but it's just helping to keep everything nice and connected together. Here's one of my favorite things about Oligo's lighteners is they can be intermixed together. I'm not sure if their creams can be intermixed with their powders. I don't really think I would recommend that either, because I just feel like those are two completely different consistencies, but for all I know maybe they can be. So if you know if they can be mixed together, please comment down below. My absolute favorite way to intermix the lighteners together is mixing Cool Tone Blonde and Extra Blonde, because you truly get the best of both worlds with the lift. You get a nice consistent lift that doesn't take 10 years because you have the Extra Blonde and you have that lifting power. However, with the Cool Tone lightener mixed in with it, not only do you have a little bit of toning because you have that blue mixed in with it, it's not too blue that it tricks your eye because you have that white to balance it out, so it's a very light blue. And you also get that control where it's not going to start off right off the bat as fast as Extra Blonde can be, but yet it's not going to be as slow as Cool Tone Blonde can be. Literally getting just the benefits of the both, and you're picking out all the negatives. I'm using this combination like 80% of the time. Baby lighting, when I'm foliaging, and those are the two most common things that I do. So what I do sometimes as well is if I'm doing a very extra long lightening process, I will start off with Cool Tone Blonde and 10 volume in my first section and with my first bowl, and then my second bowl I'll mix them both. And then depending on the texture of their hair, the integrity of their hair, if I need to end it with using Extra Blonde, I will do that as well. You can mix it however you want. You can mix it 50-50. Great thing too, with their Balayage lighteners, you can mix them both. My favorite Balayage lightener formula is 1 scoop of the Balayage lightener and then 1 scoop of the Extra Blonde. You have a mix of both that balayage texture, if you will, but yet you also have the great lift of Extra Blonde, and it doesn't get too powdery still, and it doesn't transfer all over. I love the fact that we can intermix them. I feel like it makes the look, I feel like it makes everyone's hair even more customized, not just in the sense of color formulating, but yet with the texture and integrity of their hair kept in mind as well. So a few questions that I got. One was, how are they on darker hair clients? So they work amazing on darker hair clients. Again, like I was just saying earlier, you're just going to want to keep their texture and the integrity of their hair and the end result in mind when you go about choosing your lightener formulation. Like I said, the best thing is that since they can be intermixed, every bowl can be different. And I've had many situations where I've done a different formulation for every bowl in any different section of their hair and have gotten a fluid result all throughout. Another question is, does it help with the integrity of the hair? And like I guess I kind of already answered some of these questions possibly, but as long as you're formulating correctly, you know your client's hair, you know the lightener, you can definitely get a bright, high impact result without compromising the hair integrity. I definitely sometimes too will mix in either Olaplex or K18 with them, and they work just fine, even with the bond enforcing technology in it as well. Another question I got was, how long is the processing time? So processing time, again, everyone's a little bit different. On average for me, it's anywhere between like 30 to possibly 40 minutes. Can you use them with heat? No lightener that I have worked with will recommend using heat. Because when you think about it, using the heat can kind of create inconsistent results. I look at it as that's where they can't guarantee results either from when you're using heat. Don't use it with heat. The option as well that I've been doing that I do really like is just using a blow dryer in some spots. Normally what I want is just for my last section to get caught up quicker with everything else. So use your blow dryer for a few seconds. Like I'll do it for like 30 seconds on, you know, why am I doing this as if this really helps anything. No, what I'll do is I'll use my blow dryer on some of those very last foils that I did, so that I'm using heat just where I need it, and then the second it's done, then it's done. Do you have to use the matching developer, or can you use a generic developer? I do use the matching developer when I'm able to, just like 99% of the time, because you definitely do get the most consistent result. I have been in binds before, like we all have, where I've ran out of developer. If I run out of developer, I'll either try to intermix, so if I need to mix like a 20 and a 40 to get a 30, I'll do that, or something of the sort, but I have had to use like off-brand, when I say off-brand, I just mean like non-Oligo Blacklight developers, and it still works fine. I still get a decent lift out of it, but I do feel like it's not as consistent. But you know, you definitely can, especially if you're gonna buy. I would recommend though, if you're starting out, like use the matching developer with it if you. And then the last question I got is, what are the best textures and scenarios to use these lighteners on? So like I kind of explained earlier, any texture works great, and what my favorite thing about them is you can use the texture and the hair condition of your client's hair to kind of determine what lightener would be best, and obviously to their end result in mind. So again, my favorite part about the whole line is it's a very nice customizable result. Alright guys, I think that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope we learned something new. Let me know if you either are going to try the Oligo lighteners now, or if you already use them and love them, let me know down below. You can get Oligo at any Oligo distributor. If you're not sure where your closest distributor is, I believe you can go on Oligo's website as well and like plug in like your address, and I believe that they have something where it'll show you where your closest Oligo distributor is. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. I do break down a lot of times when I'm showing, like when I'm sharing my work, I'll you know, give my formulas and explain what I use and all that stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.